morning, everyone. I had a testimony prepared for you a couple of weeks ago, but I was out of town, and so I was going to do it today. And I almost didn't do it because my testimony kind of changed, and not in a good way. And I debated if it's still a testimony, but testimony time is about what God's doing in our lives, not just praises. So I'm going to give a testimony, and don't get excited about the first part because it doesn't end well. So, my disclaimer. So, as someone who's lost somebody in their life recently, I approached Thanksgiving and Christmas with somebody's not going to be at the table. And when it came to Thanksgiving, I actually was really excited because the whole family was going to be in town. It was going to be great. And so I didn't have that deep sadness that somebody was not going to be at the table because so many people were going to be at the table who aren't in town. And so with that excitement, it was a great day. And in the middle of it, my niece announced that she was pregnant. But there was concerns with that announcement because she had miscarried in the summer, and there was a serious concern about a genetic condition that she was going to be tested for. But she was excited, everybody was excited, and so we were just going to wait. So we cooked up this scheme to do this gender reveal at Christmas. And as we were getting closer to Christmas, initially Jenna said, let's hold, we're waiting on genetic stuff. Or shortly before Christmas, she got some results back, and she felt pretty confident that they were in the clear for genetics. So we did a gender reveal at Christmas, which then meant Christmas, I wasn't super sad that someone was missing from the table because there was so much joy around Christmas. And Christmas is my favorite time, and I loved everything about Christmas. And so my testimony was originally how God was in the details of coming into that time period, and he worked through all the details of that. Well, we found out on Friday that the baby does have this very significant genetic problem, and most babies don't make it out of infancy with it. It's something I've never heard of, and I'm a labor and delivery nurse. I've done this for years. I've never heard of this. There's about 800 reported cases in the world of this, and this baby has it. So we're going to lose this baby. And so all of this joy that was wrapped up in this has come crashing down. And I feel a little like God is silent because there's another situation going on with my nephew. And there's been so many prayers for both my niece and my nephew, and I just have felt God's silence in this, or the answer no. And it's really hard. And it's hard to stand and give testimony about what God's doing in my life when I don't know what God's doing in my life. And two things came into my mind over the last couple days. One, we've seen again and again in this congregation that when we've had periods of really great joy, struggles come in after that. And we've seen it again and again. And so this is a struggle. I also know that God is doing something and he's working, and I don't know what that is, and I don't have an answer. And I feel like there's going to be a rest of the story, and I don't know what it is. And the waiting in the middle time is messy and yucky, and I don't like it because I like to know when things are going to happen. So I guess my prayer is please pray for Jenna and her husband, and as they walk through this time period, please pray for us as we navigate it as well. And so this is my testimony. It's not a praise report, but it is a praise that God is working some way, and we'll know in time what it is. So there we go.